Assalamu alaikum and welcome to day 13 of our How to Read Quran series, a program on the Quranology Institute's YouTube channel. Today I will be using a practical example to illustrate the principle which I outlined last week on using the kitab, or what is normally called the surah. I call it a kitab and I explain why. And I will post a link to that video in the information section of this page as well. Today I'll be providing a practical example on how to use the kitabiyah, or the property of the kitab, in order to deepen our reading. And it will be more difficult for me to do that with a large chapter, although I will attempt it sometime this month. But today I will be doing it with a shorter chapter, namely chapter 91, or Ash-Shams. So let's dive straight into it. Ash-Shams is a rather short chapter, it's 15 verses, and it appears in the final summary section of Quran, or what is called Juz Amma. And it has a diverse set of topics, which is why I selected it, in order to show you how those topics weave into each other. So the chapter begins with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wash-Shamsi Wad-Duhaha, and the sun and its glory or splendor. So it begins talking about natural phenomenon. Wal-Qamari idha talaha, and the moon as she follows her. So you can see the sun there is a source, and the moon follows the rotation of the sun. Obviously what is in the middle there is the earth, and we will see why the earth has been left out of this particular equation somewhere down in the chapter itself. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا, and the day as it shows itself. Why is the day being mentioned here? Because the sun's orbit determines our day and night, and whether or not we can see the moon. So you see, once again, the sun and the moon are very related, and the earth is not mentioned because we are stationed on the earth. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا, so from the day it goes into the night. And the days and nights are very important in Quran's natural phenomenon. And the reason is, Allah uses it to show how things firstly show light, and secondly, when they are absent, we are left in darkness. Light and darkness is a very key feature in Quranic thought. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا, and the heavens and its construction. So again, natural phenomenon. We're looking at the heavens now. Why? Because the sun, that's where we see the sun and the moon. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا, and the earth and its wide expanse. You see, so Allah is stationing us in the middle of the vastness of natural phenomenon. And the reason is so that we can understand our own position. And now it gets very interesting. It goes to, of all places, the soul. This is the lengthiest exposition on the soul, 4 verses on the soul, and it is also the final exposition on the soul. The soul is not mentioned after this passage. وَالنَّفْسِ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, and the soul and its equilibrium. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, and it's pointing towards its destruction or its integration. So you see, our soul is very related to natural phenomena. How? when we experience certain states of being, they are likened to the sun, the moon, the day and night. People say, look, I'm in terrible darkness right now. It doesn't mean that they're living in darkness. It means that they are not experiencing enlightenment from Allah. And it moves on. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Verily, the one who succeeds the soul is the one who grows it. So the soul grows through the cyclical nature of these stages. And if we experience these stages and we understand our position, what happens is our souls will grow. Or the alternative is وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Verily, the one who fails is the one who buries the soul in the dust. He does not grow the soul, he buries it in the dust. You see, so the two sections, natural phenomena and the soul, they are intricately related. That's why they are in the same chapter. But the Quran is not done yet. It continues. كَذَّبَتْ ثَمُودُ بِطَغْوَاهَا. And the people of Thamud, they denied on basis of their taghwa, or their transgression. They are worshipping transgressing authorities. How is this related to the soul? Their souls is the reason they act in this way. Their souls are not connected to the vastness of the universe. They are disconnected. That's why they came to this position. And then it continues, talking about the Nakka. Nakka is the she-camel, Naqqatullah, the she-camel of Allah. And that is symbolic of our society. Now, if you think about it, a camel, you feed the camel and you give water to the camel, and the camel takes you. Because of its endurance, it can take you along the way. And if you nurture it in the right way, then its capacity to take you is infinite. But unfortunately, for those who do not do that, they think in the very short term, they فَكَذَّبَهُ فَأَكُورَهَا. They hamstringed the camel. And in doing so, they invited the wrath of Allah. Now, how does this relate back to the soul? It is the same process. The قَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. He who fails is the one who corrupts it or buries it in the dust. This is happening to the camel. You see, this is why Quran brings these diverse topics into a single short chapter, so that we may weave the topics together and ask ourselves, what is the relationship of these topics? But unfortunately, in most cases, people prefer an atomistic reading. They read one verse, they quote one verse and say, well, that's what the Quran says. No. The Quran puts it in a long, in this case, a short chapter for you to contemplate the reason. And in that contemplation, you may attain the wisdom. So I hope you can see now how this particular chapter ties in the topics. And inshallah, next week we will be looking at longer chapters, which I think will also be quite enlightening. Many thanks for viewing this video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.